Michigan residents have completely lost their trust in our elections. You've said that what you would do to rebuild the trust, but what, in terms of your backgrounds, which you guys have already have talked about, but what are you going to do to make sure that Michigan isn't what happened on the East Coast last Tuesday night? What is your idea for going forward, not having Republicans sit at home for the elections, because that's what they did.
Well, we need to, and actually I wish Lance Griffin was here with the 10 times vote, but we need to embrace the current laws that we do have. So I do oppose all of the changes that we've experienced with the no reason absentees, same day registrations, but we need to learn how to play the game that we currently have. So we have to, like Trump embraced last cycle, we have to get our Republicans out to vote early. We have to motivate them to get out there early and vote if they want to, because it's a lot easier if we can also track them off of our lists, and it saves the Republicans a lot of money too. So if they voted, we can take them off the list. We don't have to keep mailing them. We don't have to keep hounding them, and that's going to save, on a statewide race, that would save a ton of money. But the main reason, I think, we need to inspire Republicans. So without Trump on the ballot, it's going to be very, very difficult to motivate them. But without maintaining majorities, Trump's not going to be able to do much at all. So we really need to have great electable candidates that inspire people. And I do think I am that candidate for Secretary of State. I'm going to have the experience, and I'm going to have the tenacity, and I'm going to have the drive and and I'm also accessible. I want to talk to all the voters. I learned something new from talking to you guys every single day, and I'm going to do that in the general, and I'm going to really motivate these people to come out and vote and maintain Trump's agenda.
Go ahead.
Oh, that's a great question. Motivating the electorate to vote. And that's something, as I've won the last election by 80,000 votes in Macomb County. Now, this is a county that was leaning blue probably 6-7 years ago. As a matter of fact, most of the full-time elected officials were all Democrats. Won that seat by 1,500 votes. This last one by 80,000. So I've proven we can get the electorate out. I've proven that you can do it. You got to communicate, and you got to give them a compelling reason. I think all the reforms, good Republican reforms that we did in the clerk's office in Macomb County were incredible. And people, even some of the soft Democrats said, man, we got to vote for Tony because he's keeping our election safe. He is being very active. We trained over 700 people to be election workers because part of it is you have to have smart people working. And I realized that each individual clerk was doing all their own training. I says, you know what, this is a problem because they're training Republicans in Republican areas, they're training Democrats in Democrat areas, and you need a cross section if you're going to have good elections. So we did the diversification, we did the election, we did the training so that we had a database. We had actually, and Genevieve was a big part of this, a really big part of this. We actually had several clerks called the day before an election. One in particular needed 35 election workers. How are you going to run an election if you're that short? And how are you going to have confidence in your elections without having it? So we did all the blocking and tackling, did all the things right so that you can trust your elections. And in Macomb County, we gave them a compelling reason to vote for Tony Forlini for the Macomb County Clerk, and I hope I can get your vote for Secretary of State.
I think it's great to go out and be a cheerleader and motivate people. That's awesome. But if we don't do the work, we're not going to be able to turn out voters, right? And so I run an organization called the Great Education Initiative, a 501c3, but I'm the director of the 501c4 Great Education Action. And I'll tell you what we did in 24 because it'll be the same thing that we'll do in 26. So through GEA to C4, we went out and we hired door knockers, we hired phone bankers, we hired people to go do voter education across the state, and we hired people to go do voter registration across the state. And we stationed people in churches because, unfortunately, people of Christian faith, they don't vote. The voter turnout's very low. So if we want to turn out voters for 26, we've got to get them out to vote. So we gotta go do that work, we gotta knock on doors, we gotta register voters, and then we still have to go chase those ballots to make sure they get out to the polls or make sure those ballots are getting turned in. That same exact operation, right, is what we're gonna be doing in 26. Obviously, I'm a Secretary of State candidate now, but I have a great team in place. We'll be doing the same thing. We're already in conversation with national organizations to help bring in the reinforcement that we need in 26 to do all these things and turn out the vote. Because cheerleading is not gonna turn out the vote, but doing the work will turn out the vote.
Okay, now I'm just going to ask all three of you questions. This was Vance just came to my ear. What is your favorite ice cream flavor?
I love that.
Gosh. I'm gonna go with mint chocolate chip.
Okay, I saw that. I see that.
Moose tracks.
Oh, yeah.
Being Italian, I gotta go with gelato, but specifically the Nutella flavor.
Oh, okay. All right, well, candidates, thank you so much.